But he's in the car with me with this plan to, what do they say nowadays? Unalive somebody. While I was in the game, I was making so much money that I knew that I couldn't make this money any other way. So in the back of my mind, I put away 5 years. And I remember saying, my baby Christian mind, I'm gonna do a couple of things God will understand. I just need a couple of dollars to just, sustain me and my family. God will understand. And I remember always thinking to myself, yo, God is crazy. He said, yo, I used to buy product, break it down, and distribute it. Now,
Ruslan.
Hey, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Huge percentage of you guys that watch don't subscribe or like. And we're now on podcast platforms. So if you're just listening to this or you're on one of the other platforms, make sure you leave a review and you're following there. That helps out a ton. We're trying to make sure that we spread out the content for you guys. All right, let's jump into this video. All right, today I have the pleasure with being with someone who's a kind of a bit of an OG, also a bit of a legend in the Christian Apparel game. I've known this man for a while.
15 years.
Ray from Grateful Apparel.
What's up, Big Roo?
What's up, man? Can you pull the mic up a little closer to you? Like, just turn it.
What up, what up, what up?
Don't cover it up like that, though.
Yo, I don't know if it's cold in here or if it's that I'm nervous. Both.
It's cold. It's cold. We're trying to get them some of the air. So the air usually hits us on this side. It used to hit only over there. So anyway, Ray, thanks for being here, bro.
It's a pleasure. I'm proud of you, man. This place looks amazing.
Thanks. It doesn't look as amazing off camera, though, huh? When you come in, you're like, yo, this man's
amazing.
small.
It looks amazing.
Where my garage?
It's very impressive.
Thanks, man.
A lot going on in a little space.
Appreciate you, man. So we met about 15 years ago. You have an incredible story of overcoming some pretty big obstacles when you were a youth, and then pivoting and building up Grateful Apparel. And now God's doing some new things that we're going to talk about as well. So for folks who've never heard of Ray, give us a little bit of your backstory.
Man, without getting too crazy into it, and I think a lot of people know my story. I struggled with using drugs, selling drugs. I stopped using drugs. I continued to sell drugs. At some point, I realized that wasn't the answer, and I accepted Christ into my life. Short 2-second.
You stopped using drugs but kept selling drugs?
I always sold drugs.
Okay.
I sold drugs since I was like 12 years old. Always. Okay. Even if it was like nickel bags or joints. I always sold drugs. That was like the culture in my neighborhood. At some point, the drugs got the best of me. So I still sold drugs, but it wasn't like I was making money. It was like a monkey selling bananas almost, right? I take 2 steps forward, stumble 3 or 4 back. Then like I said, I struggled for like 15 years. And then the last time I used, I was done. I just had this, revelation that this sucks. I put down the drugs. I started making meetings. I got clean 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But I kept selling drugs. I didn't think anything was wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It was just my way of, providing for myself. I didn't really have a family at the time, but so yeah, I'm getting clean. And I never realized how responsible I was. As a matter of fact, the key point is that I got clean when I was 31. So, using drugs throughout, from 15 to 30, well, actually the abuse was probably like 25 to 30, 22. You don't realize certain things about you, certain qualities, because the addiction kind of, takes control. So when I put the drugs down and I continued to hustle, I didn't realize how responsible I was. So because I was so responsible and I was a stand-up guy and people liked me, people trusted me, people could confide in me, even at my worst. So now here it is, putting the drugs to the side. That whole thing flourished. So then I started making a bunch of money. I bought a house, boat, a bunch of nice, cool stuff. And long story short, I don't want to get too much into all that because that's so long ago. It feels like I said this story a million times. But at the end of it all, I had a big house, boat, cars, trucks, and I was sitting there in this big house in front of a big TV, big truck outside, and I was miserable. And I was like, man, this devil guy It's slick. I always believed in God, by the way. I just didn't know relationship, Jesus Christ. Since I was a kid, I always talked to God. I don't know why. Looking back, I realized he always had his hand on me. So at that last moment, I said, yo, whatever it is to give my life to you, I want to give my life to you. I didn't grow up in church. I didn't know like the sinner's prayer. I didn't know accepting Christ into your heart. All I know is that when I was using drugs, I was paranoid. I was this, that, and the other thing. I was looking over my shoulder. And now here it is. I'm clean at that point, probably 10 years. I'm paranoid. I'm looking over my shoulder. The only time I really felt full was when a lot of people were around me. And as soon as the barbecue was over and people would start to go home and I was by myself, I would feel that void. And the seed that was planted early on was this gentleman who was speaking. His name is Raymond Ramos. Shout out to Raymond. I went to this speaker jam, they call them, right? And I'm pulling in with a big old Tahoe, brand new of the year, brand new rims, brand new tire, the Nino Brown package. And this guy's pulling into the same parking lot with a hoopty. It was a neon, 2 different color fenders, broken, cracked windshield. And for some reason, we just like locked eyes. And I was like, who's this cornball? You ever look at somebody and just don't like them? You know?
I mean, not as a Christian.
Yeah. you know the feeling though, right? You just, looking back, it's insane because you know nothing about them. But, I'm sure we could all relate.
Yeah.
I just didn't like them.
Yeah.
I didn't like them. So I'm like, look at this cornball. Meanwhile, I'm on top of the world, quote unquote. We go into this conference, the speaker jam. I don't even know how I wound up there, who invited me. There's like 500 people there. And to my surprise, this guy's the damn speaker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm
that's a trip.
when I saw him, when they introduced him, I was in the back. I'm like, oh. Probably I didn't do all this, but inside I was like, what's this cornball gonna tell me? You know what I mean? And then when he started talking my language. And he caught my attention. But the thing that really planted the seed was he said, you can't fill a spiritual void with things of the physical. And it was like,
because you had all the physical stuff.
I had the physical. I grew up poor. My mom left when I was 2. My dad really wasn't present. So I didn't have anything really, and we were poor and I ran away when I was 16. I'm bumping my head all over the place trying to acquire stuff. Never able to hold on to anything. So when I got clean and I started to hustle and make money and buy houses and boats and all this, acquire the stuff that I thought was the problem, I still had that void. When he said that, it made total sense. I didn't understand it, but I said, damn, that makes sense. So I started to put myself around him. And mind you,
the guy you didn't like, you started trying to get around him.
Like. I started to put myself around. I always say it like this, like I went in there with this big truck and I left on a big wheel, paddling down the highway, like broken, like this little, because all this stuff don't make no, So I started to put myself around him awkwardly because I'm an introvert by nature. I'm nervous right now. Like I don't like attention. I got a lot better with it. But if I didn't grow up with you, I didn't talk to you, especially at that time. So something about him, I wanted something that he had. I just didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know what help looked like. All I know is inside, I wanted something that he had. And the only way I knew how to potentially get it is just by putting myself next to him. Because I really didn't even know how to talk to him. So I put myself around him and it'd be awkward because it'd be like hey, how you doing? And I get weird when I'm like uncomfortable. I can't even really carry a conversation. But he just loved me, man. And we built this relationship. He never really preached to me. He never told me to do this and not to do that. He didn't know exactly what I did, but it was clear that I did something because I had nice things. He'd tell me to meet him randomly any time of the day. I go meet him. I didn't have a job. So he knew
all the signs were there that you was involved in some illegal activities.
I never told him, and he never asked. We were just building this unspoken relationship through presence, through proximity, right? And about a year in, right? That's how smooth this dude was. He never really scared me with anything. He went for it. I guess he had that moment. He said, yo, at this point, I realized he was a pastor. I started connecting the dots, and he invited me to his church one day.
A year after hanging out with you regularly.
I don't remember the exact. It was a while.
It was a while.
7 months.
You started picking out that he also would meet in random times of the day.
Correct.
Nah,
I knew early on. I knew that he helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he helped a lot of people that were worse off than me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was like a unique
Yeah.
case because I was coming in. I wasn't coming in on the ground floor. I had already been clean for a long time. I established some stuff. So I'm coming at him from like a different angle. So yeah, he didn't preach to me. But about a year later, I understand it now because I do similar things to some similar people, other people around me. I won't say nothing. Every once in a while, you get the opportunity to be like, it feels right. Yo, you want to come with me to this thing? So he had that one of those feels right moments, and he asked me, yo, why don't you visit my church on Sunday? And I was like, yo, man, I'll be involved in some stuff. I feel like a hypocrite going to church. I can't go. And this one person blew my mind 2 times in my life. One person. The 2 times that my mind was ever blown was by one person, I should say. He said, keep doing what you're doing. Just come visit my church. And I was like,
You didn't have to clean it all up and have your life perfectly in order to go to church.
I was like, you ever see The Wire, the meme when that dude was like,
yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, for real? I didn't say this, but inside. So I visited that time. I didn't stick around. I kept, here and there. I wouldn't go every Sunday, but like I said, he had some stuff that I wanted. He had a good relationship with his family. It's just his serenity that he carried, and he comes from where I come from. You could tell he was the real deal, but he was a transformed real deal, right? So I would come, I would visit, and at this point, like I said, I had acquired all this stuff, and I was pretty heavy in this game, and I feel like looking back and, in retrospect, everything's, clear. In hindsight, everything's 20/20, they say. At the time, I didn't know, but looking back, I realized that the devil was like, playing, it was like it was a battle. It was like, yo, this guy's about to leave me. Let me pump it up on him, right? Because I was literally surrendering to this new way of life without realizing it. It was attractive to me. What he had was attractive to me, right? But I wasn't mature enough to let go of the things I was involved with yet. Nor did I really know if it was really necessary. I was still kind of like real pre-baby, like not even saved yet. So I lost my train of thought. Give me a second.
So you popped into church a couple times.
Popped into church a couple of times. Oh yeah. I started visiting him. So what I started doing is I started not paying attention to my smaller connections. Like the guys I was making a little money with, a little 500 here, 1,000 there, I started like telling them I'll meet them and then not show up, and just kind of blowing them offish, not on purpose, but more like to just kind of slowly detox from the game, right? But then at the end of it, I had 2 major connects. Those were like my money trees, right? Those are my guys. So I didn't have the strength to just let them go. Mind you, I hadn't worked in a regular job in 10, 15, 20 years. I don't even know. I didn't want to go back to the workforce. I didn't have forever money. I had some nice money, but I didn't have forever money. And I hadn't accepted Christ yet. So I was like still in that thing. I was still like, nah. So things started to happen. So some dude, long story short again, I wasn't supposed to get into all this, but I guess we're going to get over to it.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here. We used to have these stash vehicles going back and forth to Miami. We used to send the money that way. They'll put them in the stash. They'll bring it back. Vice versa. So one time on the way back, we had a driver bringing the work back, and supposedly the driver got robbed. He stopped in Atlantic City. I'm going to be so clear that my man, if you hear this right now, just know I love you. There's no hard feelings. It's all good. In all reality, you did me a favor, my brother. So God bless you. So supposedly he came back from Miami, stopped at a strip club in Atlanta. That's the story you said. You remember? He came back. He stayed in. He went to a strip club in Atlanta to kind of hang out. Picked up some shorty. Fell asleep. His chain was gone. The car keys was gone, and apparently she took the car. He never told me the story straight up. The story was conveyed through somebody else who's somewhat trustworthy. I love you too. I know you still out there. If you ever stumble onto this, I ain't gonna mention your name. I literally love you, bro. So that triggered this madness in my mind, right? Because at that point, I had acquired so much stuff. Like, I was pretty heavy in this joint. And if the streets find out that you let somebody get away with something like that, you might as well just leave your front doors open, leave the duct tape on the, on the front steps, and tell your wife when they come in, just do what they say, right? And I'm not a gangster dude. I'm really not. I'm not a killer. I'm not this. But what I am is a person who cares about what people think so much, or used to care what people thought about me so much, that will fuel me to do anything to protect what I think needs to be protected. So with that, I proceeded to do some things to this person that was gonna be like, there's no turning back from it. Now I got the boat. I got the real killer dudes who I hang out with. Those guys are like the real crazy dudes. They're with it. They love me so much they wanted to do it without me even being there. It's funny how, like, if I look back, I'd be like, yo, God was really talking to me through this whole madness. Because I remember one time my man Freddie, I'll say your name, Freddie, I love you. He was coming with me to take care of this business with me wholeheartedly. And one day I'm driving my truck. I'm pretty much the rich guy. He's just one of my best friends who really never really made no real money, to be honest with you. But he's in the car with me with this plan to, what do they say nowadays? Unalive? Is that what they say nowadays? Unalive somebody. And I remember looking over to him, and he was just looking straight. And he's got this face, boy. Like, don't mess with him. I looked at him, and I said, damn, this dude's more of a friend to me than I ever been to him.
Because he was going to go do that for you.
He was going to go do this without even discussing a nickel or dime, just on the strength of our friendship. And it was like, I say God now because I couldn't have thought of this. God must have whispered in my ear that you wouldn't even be his friend if you let him do this. So instead of going, I kind of made believe I was going, and I circled back to honor his friendship to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You let him think you guys were going to go do the thing, but you really didn't
Correct.
go
I
to
guess
the
I was trying to save face a little bit, but I don't know, whatever, man. All I know is that he was showing such a level of friendship to me. The only way I could honor it back to him was by not doing this, right? Not letting him be involved in it anyway. If I was going to do it, just do it yourself. So it was little things like that. Like, God started to show me some things in this life. It's kind of like the madness becomes not mad, and the not mad becomes, it's like some crazy paradox, right? So then, but that wasn't enough to stop. I just had that little, moment of clarity, went back, still looking for the dude, still setting stuff up. And long story short, man, I was in that living room, big house, big TV, big truck, big boats. And I literally said, yo, whatever it means to serve you, I want to serve you. I don't know. I said it. This is exactly what I said. I said, I don't know if I'm going to be walking around with a Bible under my arm, but I want to serve you. And I went upstairs. I went to sleep. I woke up and I was a completely different man.
Wow.
Stop cursing, stop cheating, stop hustling, stop doing. I'll spare all the details because, there's a lot of stuff. As you become a mature Christian, you start realizing there's a lot. There's
a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of
give up.
stuff
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
that don't need to be super public. But a lot of it, God like really graced me in that moment. I guess he felt my heart and he honored me right then and there. And I just stopped. And then, you know, a few of my connects would reach out to me and they'd be like, yo, what's up? What's going on? Because, you know, in the game, it's not like I'm freaking, you know, Corleone or anything like what I say goes. It's just a chain of command. I have a connect. You don't have my connect. So whatever you need, I get for you. I'm not going to introduce this person to you ever because that's my, you know, my money trail.
Yep.
So they would come to me for whatever they need. And I'd be like, nah, nothing happening today. Nothing happening today. But after like a week or two, because stuff never not happened for like that long, they were like, yo, what's going on? And I was like, yo, you ain't going to understand. You ain't going to understand. And one of my closest connects, like one of my bigger connects, remember I told you the two? One of them, he told me, because he kept coming. He was the guy who was supplying me. He used to dump like 50 pounds of weed a month in my house. Boom, boom. He became like one of my good friends. And after like the third time, he would just come. He wouldn't even ask what I need. He would just come with what he had. Boom. And then he came one time. I said, nah, I'm good right now. He was like, surprised. The next time he came, nah, I'm messing up his money because I'm a nice connect for him to have. You know what I'm saying? So like the third time he looked at me, he goes, because I wouldn't tell anybody. I didn't think anybody would understand, yo, I found God. Because mind you, I didn't even really know what that really meant other than my way sucks. He was the first one. Shout out to Alex. I think you could blur the name out. Yeah, I think he might still be involved. But he said, yo, with the squinty eye, he goes, well, you found God or something? Told me like that. And he said, I said, yo, man, something like that. He goes, you'll be back. I said, you'll be back from the heart. Not in a malicious way. This was my boy. He just meant it like, all right, man, take your little break. I see you when you get back. I never turned back. It's been like 15, 16 years, 17, I think 16 years, never turned back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what did you do next? Like you're in this spot, you have an encounter with God, you stop hustling. There was seemingly no criminal ramifications or anyone on your tail.
Nah, I got lucky.
Yeah, praise God.
I've been in and out of jail for other stuff. I never got back hustling.
Yeah. So you were one of the few that didn't get caught up.
And just to show you how sick the game is, I stashed mentally 5 years in the pocket while I was in the game. I was making so much money that I knew that I couldn't make this money any other way. So in the back of my mind, I put away 5 years. I said, man, because my main thing was weed. This was before nowadays weed, you could walk around with 30 pounds. But when I was in the game, everybody was dealing with coke. I dealt with coke and I sold bricks, but that wasn't my main thing. I was doing like 50, 60 pounds a month and I was making crazy money. So I didn't understand how my boys would take a chance to sell the coke. And I'm selling this. If I go to jail for 5 years. You're going to go to jail for 15, 20 years. And I was cool with 5 years.
You were mentally ready to go
I was ready.
away
I
for
was
5 years.
prepped. I was locked and loaded.
Wow.
I was that's how crazy it is.
Yeah,
right now, you tell me go to jail for a year, I'll be like, yo, Rue, you crazy, son? I ain't gonna leave my kids for 1 year.
Right.
I'm over here in San Diego. I just told him, I was like, yo, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I miss my kids. It's only been 3 days. Or 2 days.
So what was the pivot after that? You it sounds like you just go cold turkey on everything.
Cold turkey.
And so what comes next for you in terms of your faith journey and then getting into Grateful?
I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a stash of money, but my bills was I didn't own my house outright. My bills were like 7 racks a month. So I went from making XX amount of money to zero. I had a stash, but do the math. A year, that's freaking almost 100 grand just to keep the house open, to keep my house, the mortgage, the electricity. That wasn't even food. That wasn't car. That wasn't like going out to eat. None of that. It was just 7 grand. So the money I had already calculated. It's only going to last me like 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? If I'm lucky. And I just had faith that God was going to show up. I didn't know how. I just kept pursuing him. And now I'm going to church. Now I'm going to the guy's church. I'm understanding a little bit more. I'm still a baby Christian, but I legitimately surrendered. So this is my like process, right? So I remember I put my house on the market, and it was 2 years. This was in like 07, 08 when the market crashed. So I bought high, and I couldn't even sell the crib.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I put the house on the market. It's like a year and a half before I even get. I don't remember the exact. So maybe a year and a half, whatever. I just couldn't sell the house, and I'm running out of money. My money's going low, so I wanted to sell the house, get a little bit of money back, and kind of reset. So as the house is listed, I'm getting no traction. An opportunity arose, right? Oh no, I was down to like 20K. And I remember saying, my baby Christian mind, I said, I'm gonna do a couple of things God will understand. I just need a couple of dollars to just, sustain me and my family. God will understand. That was the God of my convenience, by the way. And that was I had another experience with conviction before that, but that was like another time that I got real conviction. Just the thought of doing something that I knew wasn't going to be pleasing to him, like broke me inside. And I was like, man, you know what? I've been broke before. Ain't nothing new. I say, yo, whatever you want, let's go that route. And I promise you, a week or two later, I got a buyer on the house. Sold the house, freed me up a little bit. And I thought to buy a smaller house. I said, yo, buy a smaller house and chill, be humble, whatever. And instead of buying the smaller house, I bought the building in Brooklyn, and I started the 360 house. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know where the vision came from. I don't know, right? I get this building. I had a partner, shout out to John. And I start taking guys from detoxes, jails, and we just start loving on them. We had 24 beds in the first building. I don't know what I'm doing, bro. It was just my way of giving back. I know about drug abuse. I knew about drug dealing. I know that there's some good guys sleeping at a bus stop. I know there's a lot of great guys in jail, because I'm not saying that I'm a great guy, but I'm a guy that if you would have looked at me back then, you would have wrote me off, and I did perfectly fine for myself. So I wanted to reach those guys, and I started the 360 houses, and I put them together in a way that if I was living in them, like I wanted them to be up to par to my standards of living. And we had like the nicest transitional house in New York, I want to say. And we started taking guys in, and then we started the second one. We got another building. It was a total of 52 beds. You was at both properties. And then like 2-3 years into that.
And was that sustaining you? Was that profitable? That was straight ministry stuff.
Ministry bleeding me. It's like, if I look back, I don't even know how all this stuff happens, to be honest. It's God, of course. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if there was like grants that the city was giving you to house
Some of the
people.
guys were collecting like $215 a month. The 360 houses have never paid for themselves. It's always come out of pocket somehow. God's, provided. Hence, 3 years later, I was getting tired. Like, I didn't know how to keep this thing going. And I was like, my prayers have always been real short and from the heart with the Lord. When I said, yo, whatever it means to give my life to you, I'll give my life to you. I don't know what it means, if I'm gonna walk. That was from my heart. Went up, he honored it. The next time when I got convicted, I said, yo, man, my bad. I said, my bad. To the OG up in the sky. I said, yo, my bad. Yeah. Whatever it means, if you want me to be broke. And then again, I didn't know how to keep these doors open. It's like you're talking about $15,000 a month to keep these two buildings open. And I said, yo, God, you got to throw me a bone here. That was my prayer. You got to throw me a bone here. A few months later, I was swimming in my boy's pool. Under the water, I said, I'm going to make some cool T-shirts. And I jumped out. It was like half the thought was under the water. I remember it clearly. Half of it was under the water, and then the final finale of it was out of the water. I'm going to make some cool T-shirts. I jumped out of my boy's pool. He had a nice house. I walked through his whole house wet. I could see the puddles of water, and I grabbed a napkin and I drew grateful on a napkin. And I think back then it was before the phones and, technology, what it is now. I forgot how I got that to my brother, and I said, yo, let's make some T-shirts with this. And it wasn't really a brand. I didn't think to create a brand. I just thought to create merch to keep the doors open. And that's where Grateful was born.
Wow.
Right then and there.
Wow.
No plan, well, I did have some experience. I've done some things in the past, but no real experience.
Yeah.
Right? So it's crazy because those days, those early days, a lot of people, you know, we was popping. Long story short, we started from the napkin.
Yep.
Next thing you know, we're selling, you know, millions of dollars worth of merchandise. And I remember always thinking to myself, yo, God is crazy in a good way. You know what I mean? He said, yo, I used to buy product, break it down, and distribute it. Now I buy product, I break it down, and I distribute it. The same exact thing. He honored my talent. And just when I surrendered my life, when I said, yo, man, my way sucks, he honored me. A lot of times that's what I love to, why I love to talk to the kids. My sweet spot is talking to guys who are coming out of jail, guys who are struggling with addiction. Because the truth is we all have talents. And a lot of times we've never had nobody to nurture those talents or point us in the right direction. My dad did the best he could. I love my dad today. He passed away a few years ago. But yo, he just didn't know. He couldn't give me what he didn't have. He couldn't give me. So nobody, here I am, this very creative kid. If I look back, I'm like, yo, I was like Pinky in the Brain almost. But I would tell people and they would get the they'd be like, that's a good idea. But then they would just dismiss it. So there was nobody there to help me bring any of my crazy ideas to fruition except the street.
Yep.
When I bought a nickel bag of weed and I made 10 joints, I didn't need any guidance. $5, $10. Buy an ounce. It was easy. That came easy to me. And you know, the dudes in the street were always there to guide you. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, it's interesting you talk about the talents. I mean, a lot of what I think people also lack is a framework on how to reconcile the talents and some of the natural talents, because there's natural talents and there's supernatural talents within a journey to pursue Jesus, right? And so you have these natural raw skills, you have the right heart, and then God breathes on it, you know? And so a lot of and I'll get you an early copy of my book. I'm doing a book on godly ambition, and the subtitle is Unlocking the Full Potential of Your Time, Talent, and Treasure. And I feel like so many people today struggle with the idea of godly ambition, like a healthy ambition to go and build the thing that God's laid it on your heart to do. And then when you add Christianity on top of that, sometimes it's as pure and as simple as what you described. Other times you get really weird into, oh, if I do this, is it about me? Or, you know, you got so much cognitive dissonance and you don't actually ever get to do the thing when you're just simply being faithful to what's in front of you. And God just kept breathing on it and breathing on it and breathing on it.
Ignorance is bliss, they say. Is that what it is? Yo, it's a beautiful thing when I look back because I didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared, you know? It's funny because moving forward, like I said, we sold millions of dollars worth of Grateful. I did pretty well for myself and my family. And then like 2000, what are we in, 5? Like when did COVID hit? 21, 22?
Yeah, 2020.
Yo, we hit like a monkey wrench. We were doing the numbers were so crazy that in my mind, I was like, yo, we're about to be rich, like rich. Like never mind 1 million. I mean like 10, 20 million, 30 million. And I remember saying, holy snap. But because I'm more of a hustler, right? I'm not really a businessman. Does that make sense? I'm a hustler. I have more businessman, you know, qualities today than I did last year and the year before. Of course, I'm keep learning and evolving. I don't really pay attention to certain things. And when you're dealing with these huge numbers and staff and payroll, and I really, Rue, I mean it, I really don't care about money. I don't want to sound like I don't like money and I don't like nice things because I don't want to sound like I'm walking on water, because I do. But I really don't care about money like certain people do. And that's like a double-edged sword. It's cool because it's not my God, it's not my idol, but you definitely have to be a good steward, right? You have to be able to be like, yo, where's this going, that's going. And I didn't catch something and I lost $500,000 in 3-4 months. I told you that the other day. Like I opened my laptop. I looked at my bank account and I thought somebody hyperjacked me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's how crazy that I don't look at my accounts like that, like I should. You're dealing with all this money. Everything's on like auto pay, pay this, pay that, whatever. I got my money, I'm cool. And I closed my laptop and I smashed it. I went bang, not to smash it. I got so mad that this money was gone. I didn't mean to break it. I just hit it out of emotion. That's like Moses, right? Did Moses do something like that? He was like, bang. And then I went upstairs. I fell asleep for like a month in my house. And the reason why I'm saying this is because after I was up there just kind of sucking my thumb, poor me, dealing with my emotion. It was a lot. One day I heard my son playing downstairs and it was like, God was like, yo, my man, the cavalry's not coming over here. You're not just going to sleep here and things are going to get better. You got to show up.
No one's coming to rescue you.
Nobody's coming to rescue me. I'm thinking, I'm just waiting for the rescue truck for yo, here's my flare. I'm not even putting the flare up. I'm just sitting there. And then he was like, yo, the cavalry's not coming. And I literally made the conscious decision. I said, yo, you got to get up, my man. And I got up. I started putting one foot in front of the other and I started to show up for myself. And I say that to say that in the beginning, I didn't know what I know today. So showing up for myself with all this information is a double-edged sword because at least I have the information. I kind of know how to move forward. But at the same time, I have the information and I know what it takes to move forward. And sometimes I'm like, because I know what it took for us to get here, it kind of like takes away from the blindness.
The trust of it all, it sounds
like.
Just
the doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The cognitive thinking, the way you said, the way you put it, the mind is a beautiful thing, but if not careful, it'll run you over.
Come on.
It'll run you over. And instead of my mind can take the information and say, hey, this is what you did. Just follow these steps, right? That's logical. But at times, if not careful, we can let our minds go, oh man, these are the steps you gotta take. You're not gonna be able to do this again. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to get me back up in the room. So that's where I was at that point. Man.
So you lose $500,000 in a couple months.
Like 3 months, bro. Something crazy.
Some mixing up is happening with how Grateful is doing. It was doing really well, and then there's a mix up in the market. The Facebook ads,
the economy shifted. Facebook and Apple stopped communicating, so we weren't getting the same results. But we're paying crazy money, $100K a month on ads.
Yeah, but so you're putting in $100K, but you were getting out.
We were getting, and when everything's running fine, I'll spend $1 million a month as long as we're profitable, right? It doesn't matter the amount I spend on the ads as long as we're profitable. So like the first month that we did the 100K and I remember I look back because we do have, we have the systems in place. I just don't pay attention. I don't care. Like there's milk in the fridge, we good. I remember looking back after the problem really, became a super issue. And I remember looking at our P&Ls, negative 47,000. I remember when I saw the negative 47,000 originally and I was like, next month would be okay. I didn't do anything different. Next month would be okay. The next month was like negative 38,000. But I'm dealing with such levels of money that became like, not 100, but a few $1,000s. Because I was cutting checks at this point, 50,000, 60,000, 30,000, 40,000. So these numbers became devalued to somebody like me, a hustler who don't care. So when I look back, I'm like, yo, son, you was crazy. I could show you right now a P&L for like 4 months where it was like $300,000 lost.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, baby, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Until,
Yeah.
But it's all a beautiful thing, man. It's really beautiful, man.
So were you able to slowly turn around the Grateful thing as you're launching this new venture at the same time? Or like, how did that work out?
So the thing is that throughout the whole history of Grateful, God has wanted me to do something specific, right? And I'll do it. and I'll show up. Then I have not submitted to that calling wholeheartedly throughout this whole process.
Why is that? Why would you say that is?
I feel like I was just talking to Andy about this. I feel like I'm one of those personalities that a lot of things come easy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like throughout life, if I look back, I used to ride BMX. I was probably one of the best BMX riders in my neighborhood. I was good. I was really good. I hustled. I was good. I never got caught. I went to jail. I was good. You know what I mean? Everything, just anything. I can't even think of other references. Everything came easy to me. I got clean. I said, I don't want to use no more drugs. Started making millions. Been clean 23 years. Everything comes pretty easy to me. I feel like the thing that God really wants me to do, to surrender, he just wants me to dive deep into his word. He wants me to know him. He knows I know him. He knows I love him, but he wants me to know him. I almost want him to inject the information into me. And because he's been telling me this for so long, I guess the only way to put it is being a little disobedient. Innocently, can you relate to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Innocently, just because out of it being a little difficult for me, right? It's hard. I read, sometimes it goes in to see out the other. But the truth is it doesn't, because when I do show up, some of the stuff I thought went in this ear and out the other comes out right here.
Yeah, it's word won't return
It's
void.
in there.
Yeah.
Right? So long story short, throughout this whole process, right? This whole history of Grateful, the 360 houses, I have that. Yo, Poppy, I love you. This is what I want you to do. Ray, I'm gracing, you're doing good. I'm hearing it. It's getting louder and louder, and he's becoming a little bit more stern. Listen, I'm even hearing him say, don't make me take all this stuff away from you. I'm literally like hearing this stuff. And I'm like, you know how like you be like, nah, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm being disobedient. I want to be in the position he wants me to be in. But it's like I'm a little unwilling to do the work because he's kind of spoiled me. Does that make sense? And he's like, nah, Papi, I'm not spoiling you on this one. So he ultimately brought me to that spot where I had to go back to him. Like, yo, I get it. I get it. So now, Grateful is not going nowhere. It's going to be around for a long time. It's going to blow up. All right, when he giving me the vision, I got to put him first. I got to be with him, locked, loaded. I have to learn. And the thing is, I don't want to, you guys know me, Andy knows me. Bro, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. I read, I study. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm just going through life like, hey, whatever, man, smoking. You know what I mean? He wants more from me. What is it? Much is given, much is expected.
Yeah, too much given, yeah.
Much is given, he wants more from me.
Yeah.
So I have to give him more. And lately, I tuned everything out for the last 3 years trying to rebuild Grateful. And now it got so big that now there's so many people involved. And deep down inside, I got this thing telling me, forget about this for now. Forget about it. But I'm telling my partners in China, and I'm like, yo, man, I don't think we should do this. Let's do this. But if we don't do this, this is going to happen. And then I'm like a people pleaser, right? And I'm like, okay. I always go back to okay. And then I leave the meeting semi-convicted, but I please some people. It wasn't until about 2-3 months ago when I was like, and not to mention I let go of my health, right? I'm just eating, I gained weight. I'm stressed a little bit because of this whole trying to get things back in order. I got like all massive amounts of bills and responsibilities overseas, open invoices for $400,000, $500,000, $200,000 over there. So it's pressure, and I'm not really knowing how to deal with it. It's a lot for me, bro. I'm a kid from Jackson Heights, Queens, New York, who sold nickel bags of weed and sold bricks. Here's the brick, give me the money. It's that simple. You don't give me the money, I'm gonna kill you. It's that simple. Now you're in a world that they don't run on the same, principles as the old world. So I don't really know how to operate in it. And one day I was like, just run. I was so focused on the problem for a little while, for a long while, maybe a year, that at one point I was like, yo, my man, just do 10 push-ups. Because I was 195, weighed myself. I was like, yo, you're 195 pounds. I'm 5'8", by the way, right? My heaviest, my fat weight used to be 187. And I get my fat right in my belly. I got skinny legs, my upper arm, my body, my shoulders always stayed upright. It'd be right here. So whatever fat, and I would just be tired all the time and lethargic. And I remember just simplifying my whole life. Forget about what you can't do. I started forgetting about these open balances and whatever collections, whatever. I don't even care. I started showing up for myself physically. Little bit by little bit, I started doing 10 push-ups a day, 20, 30. Now I'm going for walks, 1 mile, 2 miles. Now I'm running a mile, walking a mile. Now I'm running 2 miles. Now I'm going, long story short, I run 4 miles. I'm running 5 miles. Now I'm down 30 pounds. Now I'm down 30 pounds. Now I start learning about diet. I start learning about the body. Not only that, I start feeling amazing. The same things are going on. Same little issues going on around me. It's like, it is what it is. Because I feel amazing. Right?
Yeah. My buddy Justin Early talks about this. He has a great book. He does a lot of like habits and formation for Christians. And I think he has a phrase where he says something like the body would lead the soul. And so your body is leading your spirit. And if your body's out of whack, you could have that desire for the Lord and to do things His way. But if your body and your health is out of whack, it's no good.
I always say, bring the body, the spirit will follow. Just show up. Show up. Show up. So I started showing up for myself. And I started telling people no. I started, yo, bro, when you're involved with, helping people in recovery and you have like these big circles and you don't realize how they affect you. Like a lot of times I'm around a lot of people that I have influence over just because I've been clean for a long time. I'm a successful business guy-ish, I have a marriage, my marriage is successful. I got kids. People like me. They dig with. So God's always putting these people in my life, which I love. I build these relationships. That's what I love to do. But I didn't realize that, yo, you need time for yourself. I haven't taken time for myself in probably 20 years. And in the last few months, I've just been taking time for myself. I don't really call nobody. I don't answer too many calls. I'm not really concerned about, I still care, but I'm not like, oh man, this dude relapsed. Let me go help him. Or this, let me see what's up with this. I'm like, yo, just tone in, focus on you and all of that. And then on top of that, I'm just getting closer with God. So God is bringing me to exactly where He wants me to be.
Amen. And that's kind of the launch of Give Me 10.
Give Me 10, yeah, correct.
And so that's in its infancy, but it sounds like you're passionate about it. You got a vision for it. Yeah.
It feels like the beginning of Grateful Days. The reason why Grateful worked in the beginning was because we organically created content before content was a thing. We were creating content without even knowing we were creating content, and people bought into the story. People bought into the, us doing the 360 houses. I had Zay, Tim, the team meeting you guys, just the history of the evolution of Grateful. But then when we got so big, I started working in the company instead of on the company. And then the story kind of got lost. And then we went from a certain target market to a completely different target market, which was fine, but they didn't really understand the story. They weren't personally connected. They weren't my tribe. We were steering traffic more through paid. We were paying for sales at this point. Originally, we were driving sales organically. So then when we hit the speed bump, we didn't have the same influence. You get what I'm saying? Because in my massive following, probably 20% of that are core. Oh, I know the story about this. A lot of them just bought on because they saw something they liked and they have to be reminded. There's only a few. So right now it's like, we're in a spot where I'm doing me. I'm focusing on fitness. Give Me 10 is more of a social media page. It's really, I make merch for myself. I'm not selling merch no time soon. I want to see where God takes this. I'm excited about it. I love to inspire people. That's what brings me joy. I love to inspire people to stay clean. I love to inspire people to be good husbands. I love, and wives, but mainly, you know, husbands, because I'm not going to go, you know, counsel a woman.
No.
Even though I've given advice, you know what I'm saying? I just love to inspire people to do better, and Give Me 10 falls right under that, you know, umbrella. So,
and you're just waiting to see where ultimately it goes. No agenda, and just being faithful.
I'll be honest with you. When I jumped out of the pool with Grateful, right? Mm-hmm. I thought Grateful was humongous before I even had the right to think it was humongous. Nobody could tell me that this is not big.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Give Me 10.
Come on.
Nobody could tell me that Give Me 10 ain't big.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's fire. It's cool to see too. Like we was out yesterday and I give me 10.
Yeah.
Pump out 20. I'm like, let's go do some pull-ups. This is too easy. You know, so it's
we
fun.
got big man over here on board over here. But
Word,
it brings me excitement. I'm excited, man.
It's good to see you excited, man, because I remember
good.
We did a whole pod before my channel popped off. We were talking about this yesterday, and you were saying you were in that interesting transition period where God was starting to put some new things on your heart, and you weren't really sure how to navigate it. And I remember we did this pod, and we ended up just scrapping that joint.
I felt bad, man. You was at my house. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Where's the camera? Ruslan slept on my floor.
I did.
He slept on my floor in the early days. So did Foggy Raw. Both those dudes blew up. So there's something up with my floor, son.
That's right.
Something up with my floor. So if you want to blow up, let's figure it out. We'll get you to sleep on my floor.
Ray's basement.
Yeah, Ray's basement. In my basement, man. Give me a couple of dollars or points or for whatever you're doing. We'll blow you up. But I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks,
but yeah,
man.
we did the podcast. And I remember the whole time, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. But I got the people pleaser in me, right?
Yeah.
I love you, and I'm like, I want to support what he's doing.
Yeah.
I believed in you, so I did it. And then I remember we chopped it up for like an hour, and then you shut. I remember you shut it off. He goes, that was good. I go, bro, I didn't like that.
We scrapped the whole thing.
Yeah,
that was what was that, like the end of 2019? It's right before the pandemic popped off. Yeah, that was in that window. Yeah, it's good. So anyway, it's dope to have you here and your clarity and your passion and the vision that you have.
I feel amazing,
talking about
man.
this is dope, and I think the people will appreciate this update too.
Nah, that's why I was willing to do it. When we did it over there, I was like in a gray area, so I knew there was a transition coming. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't want to talk about like the old stuff. I almost didn't want to talk about some of the old stuff now, but you know, it came up organically, and it is what it is, man. God is real. Everybody, He will rock your world. He's always gonna bring you to glory, to glory, to glory, to glory, as my man Andy says, man.
Amen. And let me just say this: one of the things that's always been refreshing about you is that you've always been extremely generous with your time, with your wisdom. Because I called you a couple months ago, I got this legal thing, and I don't know about and you just gave me some real good wisdom. You've always been generous with your wisdom, your insight. Willing to hop on a call, willing to send a voice note, and it's dope that's consistently been your character. And now,
appreciate it.
And then obviously, like, you've always kept us lace with the flyers.
Grateful.
We'd always get a package, or we get something like, just take whatever you want. And it was fire, man. So I still got a good amount of stuff. I still got pants I wear regularly from 2019.
I just saw some pictures right now of you rocking a Gusto jacket. It still look fire now. I was like, we could drop that right now.
You gave me the kind of like jogger joints, and they zip off at the pocket. You gave me a pair, and I went and bought a second pair, and I still got both pair in my pocket.
That was probably my most proudest collection. That collection right there. That's actually the direction I wanted to go. And then after that, we kind of went back to doing some other things because you didn't get too many people involved. And that's when it started to get a little funny after that.
Word up, man. Well, Ray, thank you so much for being here, guys.
Yo, but let me close out real quick. My bad.
Don't do it.
Yo, I promise you, Ru, the best. My life has been amazing. Amazing. And the best ain't even come yet.
Come on.
It ain't even come yet. What God has in store, I could feel it in my spirit. And it ain't got nothing to do with mansions and yachts. It got to do with life-changing experiences for me and the people around me. So tune in, Give Me 10. Follow us on Give Me 10. Forget about Grateful.
We'll link it up.
You could check out Grateful, but Give Me 10, Grateful Ray. official, all that good stuff.
All right, fellas, we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Brand new Occupy Till I Come 60-day devotional has arrived, taking you through the entire narrative of Scripture in 60 days, 35 days in the Old Testament, 25 days in the New Testament, with custom interactive journal prompts for every single day. This is a great way to have a structured devotional, reignite your passion for the Word of God. This is something I wish I had 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was traveling a lot doing music, that could just take me through a general narrative of Scripture and help me be interactive and reflect on what it is that I read. That is why there's a journal built into the devotional with daily prayer request section to also document my prayers. So whether you've been walking with Jesus for a while or you're new to the faith, go to blessgod.shop right now to pick it up. All right, I'll see you over there. After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys began to ask for something that had a planner. And so we combined our Bless God prayer journal with a brand new leadership planner that jam-packs the same things from our prayer journal with a planner, goal setting, leadership meeting, and notes. With the next pages, you can see different sections right along here of this leadership planner where you can start out with actionable goals, 12 months of calendar, our original prayer journal prompts, our leadership journal with the proven problem solution framework, and of course, just free write notes. This leadership planner is based off of Matthew 25:14-30, which of course is the parable of the talents. The vision of the planner is to help you make the most of your time, talent, and treasure. Head over to blessgod.shop and get yours.